Hello, I'm Major General Neelendra Kumar for the playlist Inse Miliye for the YouTube channel Lex Consilium Foundation, in conversation with Sikyong. He is heading the Tibetan government in exile as its president. My next question to him is that what would he like to talk about his views with regard to the present policy of the US administration on Tibet, and more so in light of the Resolve Tibet Act that came up in July, and also a word about the role played personally by President Biden and Richard Gere.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, when we came into the administration, we followed the middle way because that is the official policy. Even if I'm the Sikyong, I just cannot change the policy, or the parliament just cannot change the policy. Even if there has to be a change in the policy, there will have to be a referendum of the public. So till that time, we are very committed to the middle way. But when we say middle way, then you also talk about polarities or extremities. So in this case, one polarity is the present state of Tibet, occupied by China and ruled with very repressive policies. The other polarity is the historical status of Tibet as an independent state. So by focusing on this, by seeking recognition for these polarities, then only there is value for middle way. Because without polarities, there is no middle way. And if there is no recognition for the polarities, there is no value for middle way. So thinking on that reasoning, then we started working with the US Congress since April 2022, strategizing about how to go about that. So initially in this same year, June, we had the first testimony on the historical status of Tibet in the US Congress. That was received well, and based on that, then we worked with the Congress on developing this Resolve Tibet Act since January 2023. So it took about 2 years to get this passed. And of course, the leadership is provided from, fortunately for us, we have support from both Republicans and Democrats, and both houses, Senate and the House. Speaker Pelosi, now Speaker Emerita, Nancy Pelosi, has been very instrumental in providing the leadership. And from the Democrat side, you also have Jim McGovern, who was a very good friend. So apart from the 2002 US Tibet Policy Act, he has a hand in all the legislations on Tibet, and he has always played a very leading role along with his staffers to get drafts done and to also make it move. So from the Republican side, on the House side, we have Michael McCall, who was the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and also from the Democrat side, we have the ranking member, Gregory Meeks. And on the Senate side, we have Todd Young from the Republicans and Jeff Merkley from the Democrat side, and also the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee, Ben Cardin, whom we have known for a long time. So all these have helped support that. And Richard Gere, as the president of International Campaign for Tibet, has been very, very supportive when he was from his younger days till now, fully committed to doing this. And he himself, being an American and a well-known actor, has his influence at the Hill also. So we used to go together. 6 times I went to get this bill passed to the United States over a period of 2 years. 4 times Richard was with us all through. One time he was not well, but he was online. So Richard also have been working with us very closely, because there are 2 organizations in Washington, D.C., the Office of Tibet, which represents both the Central Tibetan Administration and His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the United States as a FARA registered organization. Then also 301 registered organization like International Campaign for Tibet. And then there are also Tibetan advocates, Tibetan associations, Friends of Tibet. Everybody has worked together to asked the leaders in the Congress to support this bill. And we have had major success. In the House floor, we got 392 votes, more than the required two-thirds. Yes. And in the Senate, it's this time it went through hotline.
So this is insofar as getting this legislation
yes.
enacted.
Yes.
Now, how do you see broadly the roadmap ahead?
Now, this legislation talks about four major planks which Chinese government of course denies. They are always in a denial mode. They always say that there is no Tibet question. Yes. So this act says that Tibet is yet an unresolved conflict or dispute.
Okay.
And that in future, whenever that needs to be resolved, it has to be resolved under international law. And the second portion says that Tibetans have the right to self-determination, just as it was passed in the UN General Assembly in 1961. And then the third, it says that His Holiness has not accepted that, and the US government also does not accept Chinese narrative that Tibet has been part of China since ancient times. Okay. Then the fourth one defines the Tibetan territory, not just restricted to Tibet Autonomous Region, what China calls as Tibet, but all the three other provinces of Tibet, the Amdo and Kham region. So these four issues so this is one step forward for us, and we have now one more instrument in our hand, and possibly somebody to shoulder our responsibility. Yeah, so now we're waiting for the US election to get over. We are already strategizing about what next. So in the United States itself, what can be done, and how can we work with like-minded countries, because we can reach out only to the free world. We cannot reach out to authoritarian regimes. So how much influence has US have in certain countries where we also have good relations, so that we can build some traction on those countries adopting similar positions, which will again put pressure on the Chinese government, because they have worked for about 4, 5, 6 decades to get every country to say that Tibet is part of PRC. And our effort is to make the world know that what is happening to Ukraine today is same as what happened to Tibet 74 years ago, and it is the same international law.
You have seen that the Sikyong has given a very elaborate and precise his views as to how the Resolve Tibet Act would help within the overall leadership and pivotal role of USA to gain the respectful status and meet the aspirations and demands of Tibetan people. Thank you. Be with us.